Slim No G. And Stay Solid is the movement. Praise be to the Most High. Yeah, we back with another one, man. But today we're gonna be talking about Zariah Carr, 27 years old, from Twin City, Georgia. You know, she was found dead, man. I think it was June the 14th, around 9:30 p.m. You know, she was allegedly unalived by her husband, Shamarcus Jamal Carr, 36 years old, man. You know, it's a sad situation. You know, hate that happened, man. But you know, this is when these toxic relationships go bad, man. You know, all the Facebook fighting, all the back and forth, all the triangulation, putting you up against somebody else for they love, all the smear campaigns, it just went too far. It just went too far, man. The games go too far, man. You can't play with people's feelings, yo. You can't play with people's feelings, man. When you get married, you get married to get married. You get married to be with somebody. You don't get married to play games, though. You don't get married for convenience. You don't get married because you need a place to stay. You don't get married because you need some in-house dick or some in-house cootie. You get married because you love somebody. You want to do a life sentence with them. You really want to be with them. And I'm just going to keep it real. They both was toxic, yo. They both was toxic as fuck. They both was toxic as fuck. I mean, to be honest, the whole thing was toxic. It was toxic from the beginning. The way that they met was toxic. She met Buddy when Buddy was locked down already. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know I'm going to keep it real. Sometimes jailhouse ninjas could be the slickest ninjas. But then I'm not going to put it out on Buddy either. Because, allegedly this is how she moved too. This is how she moved too. So, when you play crackhead games, you get crackhead prizes, man. That's why it's very, very, very important to know who you dealing with. You got to really know who you dealing with, man. And, both of them was on Facebook numerous of times, arguing, fighting, just disrespecting each other. See, that's the main thing right there, the disrespect. It's a disrespect for me. See, once you start disrespecting each other, everything else goes out the window. Because it ain't no way you could tell me that you love me and you continuously to call me out my fucking name. That's not gonna work. That's not love, man. That's abuse. That's narcissism, man. Nah, that's not love. But sometimes we get that confused with love. We get manipulation confused with love. If you don't cuss me out, you don't love me. That's crazy to me. But that's the times that some people live in. They think abuse is love. That wasn't love that they was in. That was abuse. That was toxicity, and it ended deadly, yo. It ended deadly. Seen a post where she was on Facebook saying that she was crying out for help for somebody to please help her. She wanted somebody to please help her. She was saying something about her kids. She wanted them want to make sure her kids was good. But little did she know, man, that God was kind of like kind of showing her life, yo. Warning comes before destruction. So it's very important to pay attention to the signs when you be going through things with people, man. You gotta be able to discern, yo. You know what I mean? That you dealing with crazy people. That you dealing with an irrational type of person, a person who can't think. You know what I'm saying? And this person has already been telling you they're gonna kill you. Y'all already been playing this back and forth game about y'all gonna kill each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you brought this on yourself in a way. Yeah, you kind of brought this on yourself in a way, because he was telling you already, hey, what I'm gonna do to you if you leave me. Sometimes you gotta take people at their word, ladies. Take some of these guys at their word. You know what I mean? You be the best thing they ever fucking had. You got good cootie, you get money, and you blow their mind. Even though they ain't gonna do right, you blow their damn mind. And the next thing you know, you got a full-blown psychopath on your hands, yo. Before you look around, he at your mama house, your goddamn grandma house, at the job, he at your damn kid's school. You got a whole bunch of shit going on, man. You got to stay away from these toxic-ass relationships. But I'm not just gonna blame him, Allegedly, she was toxic too. They both was toxic. They both was manipulating each other. They both was gaslighting each other. They both was triangulating each other, making each other compete for their love, and that shit just ended deadly. They say they both fought like cats and dogs on a regular basis, like every day, every other day. So their behavior became normal to people. It was like a show to everybody on Facebook. Matter of fact, it was a show to everybody around them and in their life. till they argued so much that it had became normal. You know, your relationship can be so toxic till it can become normal to y'all. Till your emotions become so fucking numb till you don't even know when you really mad no more. And I think that's what happened with bro. I think bro just lost his top. Bow. And the next thing you know, he went crazy. But you know what's so funny? He looked at half sweet to me anyway, though, bro. I'm going to say that shit right there, too. You know, bro looked at half sweet, bro. You know, he looked like his hips was real loose. So, you know, I kind of think, you know, for him to want to really kill her, she might have had some dirt on, bro. Shamar might was zesty and his lips was real loose, and he might was doing some other shit on the DL, and she might was going to expose Buddy. Because I really can't see a real reason for him to want to unalive his baby mother, his wife, the kids of his mother. I don't really get that. Who gonna take care of the kids, Ninja? You know, a logical person would think like that, but you got a lot of retards out here that play them games, bro, and he is one of them. I'm going to tell you like this, bro, and I'm going to be for real. You know, suicide ain't the way. You know, suicide ain't the way. I think when he killed her, he took a punk ass way out. I'm going to keep it real, you know, and I don't care what y'all think about it. Yeah, they both was toxic, and I don't care what she did, but Buddy took a punk ass way out. He knew he couldn't go back to the pen and stand in front of people for real. You know, you understand what I'm saying? You know, just too fucking emotional, bro. You know, you knew she wasn't right, and you knew she was a Jezebel, and you knew she was on demon time. You should have got from around her. But like I said, they both was toxic. They've been doing this so long, back and forth, till it became a game to both of them. Bad company corrupts good habits. You know, I don't know who corrupted who. I wasn't there. But they both displayed narcissistic behavior. They both were smearing each other's names with the smear campaign back and forth on Facebook. That's been documented. They said the worst shit about each other. They both was cheating on each other. Allegedly, they was passing STDs off. I don't know who gave what to who, but allegedly they was passing STDs off, man. So they had a lot of shit going on, yo. But the main thing is they had no respect for each other. See, when you can get on a social media platform and disrespect your other half, y'all don't give a fuck about each other. And I just gotta call it how it is, bro. You know, a lot of people was talking about the story, but I want to really break this down. This ain't the first time this happened, and this ain't gonna be the last time. You know, you got a bunch of narcissists that can't control their emotions, and they can't control you. So if I can't have you, nobody fucking can. And that's what's been going on. That was been going on back in the days. But now you got a lot of people, man, hiding their emotion with guns, and that's what they own. Narcissists looking for validation. If I can't have you, nobody can. You know, what type of shit is that? Instead of just being like, you know what? If you don't want to be with me, and I'm not that guy for you, how about I'm just gonna walk out your life and take care of my kids? That's how logical people think. But toxic people and narcissists, they don't think like that, man. And you know, I wonder. Somebody, you know, I know the family think back now. They're like, damn, man, they never seen that shit coming. But I know some deep down one day, somebody had to say, damn, man, he gonna kill that girl. Or she gonna kill that boy. I mean, come on, y'all. Now, just think for 1 minute logically. We both been around people that, you know, in these toxic ass relationships where all they do is fight like cats and damn dogs. You be like, boy, they gonna kill each other. Or girl, you need to get from around that crazy ass boy. I know somebody said that. I know somebody sitting right now crying, you know, like, damn, shaking their damn head, man. But hey, man, this is what it is, yo. You know, be real with your people, bro. When you see them going through some type of emotional or mental abuse, man, you gotta say something sometimes, dog. Because this shit probably could have been prevented. You know, maybe it couldn't have, but it could have probably been prevented if somebody would have stepped up and said, hey, look, this shit that y'all doing ain't right, bro. Y'all both cheating on each other. Out here having fun in the life of sin, committing adultery, and the devil set their ass up, bro. That's what happened. When you play crackhead games, man, you gonna win crackhead prizes. And that's what happened to this couple, man. They was playing crackhead games, abusing each other, cheating on each other, playing with their vows, and the devil tricked their ass. And that's what really happened, man. So I got some tips for y'all, yo, to stay out of toxic relationships and away from toxic people. Yeah, and the main thing is stay away from negative and toxic folks. If they negative and they toxic, and every time they round, they arguing and fighting, got some crazy shit going on. You got to stay from around them, man. Keep them out your life because their problems going to become yours. The second thing is you gotta set boundaries in your life. Set real boundaries in your life, bro. Don't let the fake shit. Don't let that demon time stuff. Don't let people with narcissistic behavior and toxic behavior. Don't even set that shit in your life, dog. And watch out for the red flags. The red flags is very important. That's what your discernment about. When shit don't feel right, it ain't right. Don't go along with the okie doke, bro. Don't do that, because 9 times out of 10, man, you're going to pay with your consequences, man. And I always accept the truth about a situation. If God don't show you who they is, you got to believe God on who they is. Don't try to change them. You know, once he don't show you who they really is, take them at that, man. Yeah. And another thing, know your value and know your worth. See, when you know your value and you know your worth, you don't let people treat you like shit. You don't let people talk to you in a type of way. You don't go for the okie doke, the semi-sasha head games, the crackhead games, letting people walk over you like a rug. Don't do that. And yeah, keep God first. Keep God first and focus on your purpose in life. Because when you keep God first, he going to protect you. And when you focus on your purpose in life, you ain't going to have time to mess with toxic type ass people. They ain't even going to be in your rim, because you ain't going to even have time for a bottom feeder, man. But most of all, never tolerate disrespect. Never tolerate disrespect. I'm not telling you go get no Draco or to go get no fucking chopper or nothing like that, or no 9 and kill nobody. But I'm saying exit people out your life that don't respect you, yo. They got to get from around you, because what's going to happen is you're going to have what's called reactive abuse. Yeah, they're going to talk to you crazy. You're going to go upside their head, or vice versa, man. Don't put up with toxic type shit, bro, because it's going to end deadly. It's going to always end bad, man. Warning comes before destruction. Yeah. And I hope y'all got some out of this one, man. No disrespect to the families of either parties, man. But, you know, when you play them crackhead games, man, you're going to get crackhead prizes, man. Don't be out here trying to manipulate these guys, man, making them think you're going to be with them, because you know half of them ain't got good damn sense. And y'all guys out here, stop letting these females play with y'all, bro, because they pretty with fat asses and pretty eyes, man. You know, if they ain't about God, bro, then they ain't about nothing. Stop chasing these 304s, man, and get you a fucking queen, bro. Stop with the childishness and the foolishness, dog. Stay away from toxicity. It ain't gonna get you nowhere, man. But that's all I got on this one. Until the next time, knowledge is power. Stay solid is the movement. Y'all stay solid, stay blessed. Peace and shalom. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. We out.